will call the meeting to order. Would you please join me for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could I have a roll call, please?
You betcha. Councilmember Switzer?
Here.
Councilmember Holt?
Here.
Councilmember Phillips?
Here.
Councilmember McCafferty?
Here.
Vice Mayor Granillo?
Here.
Mayor Armstrong?
Here.
And our town attorney is present.
Thank you very much. Item 2, introductions, presentations, and proclamations. Item A, presentation of proclamation for Stand With Me, Be Drug Free Week. Chief McIntyre.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. As you know, the Chino Valley Police Department and the town have built a long-standing and highly valued partnership with MAPFORCE. Together, we share a commitment to empowering communities to prevent and reduce substance use while equipping our residents to create healthier, safe environments where children, families, and all community members can thrive. MAPFORCE's impact extends far beyond our local community, reaching across the entire state of Arizona. We are truly grateful for this collaboration and look forward to continuing this important partnership for many years to come. At this time, I would like to introduce Ivy Chamberlain, who's the Youth Education Coordinator for MAPFORCE, who will share a few words about MAPFORCE and the Stand With Me, Be Drug Free initiative.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Ivy Chamberlain. I would like to introduce actually a few of our members today. We have a long-standing volunteer, Cheryl Main, who's also a Chino Valley resident. And then we have our youth council member, Abner Chang, who's going to be speaking on our behalf this evening. Abner?
Mayor and Town Council members, my name is Abner Chang. MAPFORCE is Yavapai County's prevention coalition, dedicated to preventing substance misuse before it begins. Our coalition consists of over 100 volunteers and a broad range of community stakeholders. We provide age-appropriate prevention education for students in grades K through 12, focusing on building resilience, life skills, and self-esteem. Through evidence-based education, we empower youth with the confidence to make healthy decisions for themselves and their futures. In addition, we support parents and caregivers by offering free parenting classes, community trainings, and educational resources. Each year, we ask our county government and city and town councils to designate a week in April as Stand With Me, Be Drug Free Week to recognize and celebrate healthy choices within our families and communities. Research shows that approximately 84% of people choose not to use illegal drugs, and today we are here to celebrate those positive choices while supporting those who may need assistance. Through strong partnerships with schools, law enforcement, municipal governments, and community stakeholders, we can continue to make a meaningful impact. We respectfully ask you to recognize Stand With Me, Be Drug Free Week, April 20th through the 25th, in honor of the health and future of our children. Thank you for your time and for helping us promote healthy and resilient communities.
Thank you, sir. Well done. I don't know. I haven't seen one.
There it is.
I'll come down.
Please do, thank you.
He's like, don't make me read it. It says whereas too many times.
It's the where, you are the whereas.
You're on the whereas guy.
Would y'all come up, please?
Move that microphone, please.
All right, proclamation, Stand With Me, Be Drug Free Week, April 20th through the 24th, 2026. Whereas MAPFORCE has proclaimed April 20th through the 24th, 2026 to be Stand With Me, Be Drug Free Week. And whereas the town of Chino Valley embraces the vision of a healthy, vibrant, and strong community for children, youth, families, and people of all ages, and celebrates the fact that a majority of people do not abuse drugs and alcohol. And whereas the town of Chino Valley recognizes that youth prevention is essential based on the fact that 9 out of 10 people who struggle with substance use disorders began using substances as a teenager. And whereas knowing that families are adversely affected by illegal drug use, including work problems, legal problems, mental health problems, physical illness, addiction, accidents, accidental death, economic loss, child abuse, destruction of families, driving while impaired, and crimes against persons and property. And whereas the town of Chino Valley would like to commend and pay tribute to all its citizens who choose to be free of illegal drug use. Now therefore, I, Tom Armstrong, Mayor of the town of Chino Valley, do hereby proclaim April 20th through the 24th, 2026 as Stand With Me Big Drug Free Week, and encourages its citizens to participate in the celebration of a drug-free, healthy community by participating in the planned events, activities, and displays. In witness thereof, I have hereto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Chino Valley to be affixed this 14th day of April 2026. Congratulations. Happy to do it. I always forget it, man.
Aaron's got you. Aaron's got you.
But I ended up with a new phone.
Ooh, great. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Just been on my make a copy and I'll get you right in here.
I think there was only 6 warehouses.
That may have been a record. Item B, presentation of proclamation for Fair Housing Month. No one here?
No.
Okay, proclamation Fair Housing Month, April 2026. Whereas the National Fair Housing Law of 1986, as amended by the Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1988, prohibits discrimination in housing and declares it a national policy to provide within constitutional limits for fair housing in the United States. And whereas the principle of fair housing is not only national law and national policy, but a fundamental human concept and entitlement for all Americans. And whereas April has traditionally been designated as Fair Housing Month in the United States, now therefore I, Tom Armstrong, Mayor of the town of Chino Valley, do hereby proclaim April as Fair Housing Month in Chino Valley, and do hereby urge all citizens of this community to comply with the letter and spirit of the Fair Housing Law. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Chino Valley to be affixed this 14th day of April 2026.
I guess you're not getting a picture today.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, propaganda sheets. All right. Item C, presentation from Arizona Public Service, APS, Fire Mitigation and Public Safety Power Shutoff Program. Mr. Sanderson.
Honorable Mayor and esteemed council, Frank Sanderson, Arizona Public Service. I really appreciate the opportunity to come here and, once again, talk through what APS is doing in partnership with many of our local communities to prepare for fire season. As you know, fire season isn't a season anymore. It's all year long, it seems like. First off, what I'd like to say is that, reliability is very important to APS. We pride ourselves in when you flip the switch, the light turns on. The one thing that is more important than that is the safety of our customers and communities. And what I'm going to do today is go through, just what some of those things APS is doing to prepare and prevent wildfires, and then also an ask for our customers and communities to partner with us and prepare themselves as far as their homes and their families. Some of the things, I think this is probably 3 or 4 times around, if not more, for many of you with some of the stuff that I'm going to go through, so I'll try to go through that quickly. As far as prevention, APS, we clear all the vegetation in our easements and our right-of-ways to make sure that there's nothing that can come in contact with our infrastructure. That is one of the biggest expenditures APS has from a transmission and distribution perspective. We have over 38,000 miles of line in Arizona, in our service territory in Arizona, and it is, work vigorously to make sure that those stay clear, and that risk is mitigated. The other thing, I'm sure you've seen a lot of crews around lately. We've done our January 1st, we start our pre-wildfire patrol and basically go through all of the lines in northern Arizona, and anything identified on those patrols, we get fixed within 30 days or by the end of May, depending on when it was identified. So there is a lot of work going on. Some of the things that we have instituted over the years, some of the newest things are the fire-wrapped poles. As we were talking earlier, APS is a steel pole company, but due to the terrain and different areas of our service territory, we have to use wood in certain scenarios. And so when we do have to use wood, we use a fire wrap. The best way I can explain it is it looks like black chicken wire, and it's wrapped 10 feet up the pole from the ground, and you can stick a torch on it and then put your hand on it right after that. It basically is a heat dissipation deal, and it works very good for our wood poles, and that coincides with our defensible space around poles. Basically, what we do is any pole that has a transformer, a fuse, a switch, a recloser on it, there's lots of different devices we put on poles, but anything that could possibly emit a spark, we clear the vegetation 10 feet around that pole and then treat it. If the property owner doesn't want the herbicide put, then we put that on a list and make sure we don't do it there. But every year we go and clear that 10 feet around every single structure that has a device on it. With these patrols, we've started using drone technology that gives us a bird's eye view of our assets. So we're not only looking at it from a patroller looking up at the structure, we're also now able to look down at it. It also has infrared capabilities to identify any hot spots, any connections that need to be repaired, things like that. As far as wildfire goes, APS has 5 preparedness levels, and that governs how we operate out in the field, because we don't want our equipment or us doing work in the area to cause a wildfire. And so as fire risk changes throughout the year, we up our preparedness levels. And the reason that's important is because at preparedness level 3, we change some things operationally that our customers and communities can see. So imagine we institute what's called a no reclose policy. And what that is all of our circuits have relaying or devices looking at them, watching for a fault. If it sees a fault, it opens the breaker, it opens the recloser, and you lose power. A normal recloser, other than P3 and above, it would open it up, and then you'd lose power to your house. You're probably watching Happy Days. You go to get the flashlight.
Are you saying we're old?
No, I watch Happy Days. I couldn't decide between Happy Days and MASH, so. But you get up to get the flashlight, and all of a sudden the power turns back on, and that's a recloser working. So it basically opens it up, says, I saw a fault, I'm going to count to 30, and then I'm going to close back in. Well, once we hit the P3, that means, the days are hotter, there's wind, vegetation is dry. We get to that point, we say, hey, recloser, don't reclose. Before we close back in, we want somebody to go out and look at it. And we've been doing that for about 7 years, and in the first couple of years, we were kind of slow because the troubleman would go out and he'd have to patrol the whole line to find it. We have installed thousands of what we call fault indicators, and there's these little things on the line. They look like balls, and basically, when there's a fault, if that fault indicator sees it, it starts flashing. And so when the troubleman goes out to find what's wrong with the line, he can follow that string of lights all the way to where the issue is and repair it quicker, leading to quicker restoration times. And so those are things we've done as we've learned in this whole process of making sure we're reliable and keeping our customers safe at the same time. The other thing I really like to talk about, and honestly, this is a lot due to the leadership here, the leadership in other municipalities, and definitely with the county, in securing grants for cameras. And so we have installed 2 types of cameras on our system. The first is just a pan tilt zoom, like if there's we need to check something out, we can get on the computer and zoom over and we can see our line going that way and our line going this way. The cooler camera, I'll call it, is the Pano AI camera, and currently we have 32 in our system, and they are mostly on mountaintops, on radio towers, things like that, and they have a full 360-degree view of the area, and we've overlapped them so that if there's a fire, that both of them can see, it can actually triangulate where that fire is. And so what we've seen is the ability to identify fire really quickly. And the awesome thing is we've been able to share it with our emergency management partners. So when that camera sees it, it's looking 24/7 all day long. It's looking for fire. And when it sees it, it texts and emails our fire mitigation and every emergency management municipality that has signed up to be on that. One example of the success of that, and there's been many, but in Camp Verde there was a house fire, and it alerted the local fire department 7 to 10 minutes before the first 911 call came in. And so it's been a very good tool. We plan on having 30 more installed by May 1st, so we'll have a total of 60 within our service territory that both helps us and serves the community as far as a fire watch and early alert system. The other thing we've been installing on our poles is weather stations, and the reason that's important is because we want to understand what the current state of each area of our system is at from a fire risk perspective, and what those weather stations do is they send back information to a platform that we've invested in that takes in a ton of different data and can predict out when the most severe weather is coming. It also looks at the topography. It looks at past fire history that we have. It looks at things like the type of vegetation, the moisture content in that vegetation. It looks at topography. And it can predict if a fire were to start in a certain area, this is where it would go. And this is how it would react if it wasn't stopped. And the reason I bring that up is because that plays a big part in our public safety power shutoff. Like I said at the beginning, reliability is our goal, but safety trumps it all. Public safety power shutoff isn't something we want to do, but we know it's necessary in certain circumstances. This is our 3rd year we've been doing it. We have not had to call it yet, so that is good. We have been adding to that program every year different areas just to make sure we're prepared to be able to enact it if we needed to. We've worked with a lot of our emergency management partners, the counties, the fire departments, and done a lot there. Just so you get an idea what a public safety power shutoff would look like is if our platform says, hey, next Saturday, it's looking like this is going to happen. Here's where we're at from a risk level. And if we decide to say, okay, we're going to communicate with our customers, our communities, just to make sure they have line of sight, what we would do as a company, first thing we do is go into incident command in our company, so it would be all hands on deck. The second thing would be you'd be hearing from Darla and I really quickly. And the reason that is because we want to make sure our leadership knows first, because we know, in things like this, as with any other, emergency or situation, it's important for the leadership to know first before they start getting calls or anything like that. A short time later, we would communicate with all of the affected customers in that area by phone, email, text, social media. I mean, we'll be pulling out the stops. And that's, say, 4 days beforehand. So we'll say, hey guys, Saturday, it looks like it's going to happen. The next day we would do the very same thing. We would re-look at everything. Has the weather changed? Anything like that? No, it still looks like it's a go. Shoot out the same communication again, first to our leadership and then to our customers and communities. And it would follow that pattern all the way till the day it was going to happen. There always is a chance it could get called off because weather changes, like I said. But if it were to happen, about 2 hours before it, there would be a confirmation communication that, hey, yes, we are taking it out, and let's say it's 3 o'clock we're going to take it out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that gives our customers an opportunity to prepare, to make plans, whatever they need to do. That whatever that time frame is that it's out would go along. You'll see a lot of APS people in those areas when that happens. And then at the end of that weather event, before we turn all the power back on, we would send people out to patrol it first and then turn it on. The thing that's significant about that is normally when a line goes out, we got to go figure it out. We send 2 to 3 troublemen out to, check it out. In this case, there'd be anywhere from 15 to 45 people, so we could really do that patrol quickly and get the power back on. And we just want to, encourage again our customers and communities to join with us to help be prepared. These are things that APS is doing to try and prevent wildfire, to mitigate wildfire, and to respond as quickly as possible. And we really encourage people to have a stash of food, candles if needed, flashlights, a way to charge your phone. Do you know how to open your garage door without power? Different things like that, so that we can really make sure we're in a good spot should something like this need to happen. And with that, I'm done and open to questions.
Questions? Larry?
Just a comment on what a great job you guys do. You just did a power upgrade in town, and I had noticed that my power was going to be off for 4 hours. I don't think it was off 40 minutes.
Good.
So thank you for the service.
Robert?
No, sir, thank you for what you do.
Sherry?
No.
John?
I'm good.
Eric?
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it every year.
All
See you
right.
next year.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Call to the public.
Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council. Public comment is at the discretion of the council and not required by law. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. Yielding of time will not be permitted. The total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment on items not on the agenda will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or responding to criticism. Public comment is invited and encouraged. However, personal attacks on individuals is not appropriate. Disrespectful behavior will not be tolerated. This includes loud outbursts, profanity, and disruptive discussions among our audience. I did not have any submitted cards for call to the public.
All right. Thank you very much. Item 4, current event summaries and reports. Larry?
You'll probably hear this about 3 times in the next few meetings. The Chino Valley Memorial Foundation will be hosting the Yavapai County Law Enforcement Memorial on National Peace Officers Memorial Day, May 15th at 10 a.m. at the 9/11 Memorial.
Robert?
No, sir.
Sherry?
No.
John? No. Eric?
Nope.
Time to steal the town manager's thunder.
Go.
This afternoon at 4 o'clock, we met out at Old Home Manor with the folks from T-Mobile. The town was given $50,000 to transfer the disc golf course from where it is now to Old Home Manor. That is gonna help a lot. It's gonna be a much better course. The champions of this effort sit in this room: Cindy, Maggie, Jesse, Terry. These ladies are champions and made this happen. Thank them when you get an opportunity.
And Mike was recording.
And Mike was
Right,
recording,
yes,
that's true. Forgot to mention Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
This coming Saturday, information is available, the territorial stroll. Bring your dog out, walk. Saturday? 25th. Isn't that this Saturday? No. Am I a week off? Yeah. Okay. I don't know what day it is. So, bring your dogs out. It supports the Chino Valley Police Department K-9 unit. Very much deserved. They get some good money for them last year. They hope to do better this year. It's online if you need to register. Town manager.
We stole two, but you didn't steal them all. So, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, and public. I do have some additional announcements we wanted to share with you. The town is seeking volunteers for 3 different advisory boards. They are the Capital Improvement Program Citizens Advisory Committee. There are 3 positions available with 3-year terms, and they start June 1st. And the Capital Improvement Advisory Committee, this is the one that gives input to our council on one of the biggest spending areas in our budget is how we are going to spend on roads or other capital improvements within the town. We had $3 million this year. They're looking at potentially $2 million next year. And so we have more than that needs to be done in roads. And so we're prioritizing which ones get done and giving some input to council so that they have citizen input on those important decisions. We need citizens' input on that. We need some people who are willing to serve. We also have another one is the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. There are 3 positions available with 3-year terms, and they start July 1st. And they advise Cindy Thomas and the Parks and Recreation team regarding same thing, capital improvements, programming, all of the different decisions then work their way back up to council for recommendations. And finally, the Building Advisory Board that works with our Development Services team. All 5 positions are available with a 2-year term starting August 1st. Applications are due by Thursday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. And you've heard the mayor and you've heard I say it before that good local government starts with citizen participation. And this is a great place to start and serve your community. Also, on that note, Citizens Academy is back. The town is accepting applications to enjoy our 6-week program where residents will get a behind-the-scenes look at how our town operates. It happens on Wednesday, May 6th through June 9th. They will be 2 hours from 5:30 to 7:30. Each night there'll be different departments that will be featured. You'll meet staff, you'll tour key facilities, and you will have dinner catered by a local restaurant with leadership, and you'll learn about the activities and the services and program that this town's provide. Enrollment is free, and it's open to individuals 18 years or older who live, own property, or own a business in Chino Valley. And we every year we've had more than 20 people apply. We take the first 20 because we want to make sure there's good engagement. We have some graduates at Citizens Academy in the room. They can tell you more about that. But it's a great opportunity to learn more about your town and the services we provide. So we actually we encourage you to sign up for that. Chino Valley. Oh, there I have a flyer. The Town of Chino Valley Community Cleanup or Free Dump Days. Everybody looks forward to this every year. The town's annual community cleanup. Bag and bring your items to Old Home Manor. Let's give Chino Valley a great cleanup for spring. So you can bring your items here and we'll take and dispose of them for free. That will be Friday, May 5th and Saturday, May 16th. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We got some feedback last year that we didn't advertise it soon enough, so we're starting now and we'll keep advertising it right up until that day. It's out at Old Home Manor, the corner of Perkinsville Road and Old Home Manor Drive. If you have any questions, contact our folks at Development Services. Additionally, our town clerk's office is accepting nomination papers for write-in candidates for the July 21st, 2026 primary election. Anyone desiring to run as a write-in candidate for mayor or council member in the town's July 21st primary election must file nomination papers no later than 5 p.m. Friday, May 22nd, 2026. And if most people are like me, you see the little write-in line and you think you put somebody in there, it counts. It does not count unless that person files his paperwork first. So if you have anybody that's interested in doing that or you would like to see, make sure they know they have to fill out the paperwork. You talked about the T-Mobile grant. Let's see. Oh, and you may obtain a candidate packet for the town at the town clerk's office, which is here in Town Hall, North State Street, Route 89, by making an appointment with the town clerk or calling the town clerk's office, 928-636-3130, or at clerks@chinoaz.net. And then finally, if you haven't seen it already, our mayor has been doing podcasts. So don't forget to stay informed. We call them our Mayor Talks episodes. They're posted bi-weekly on our YouTube page. So we thank our mayor for being willing to do that and reach out another platform and keeping our citizens involved. And thank you. That is all I have.
Thank you very much. Item 5, consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove an item from the consent agenda to be heard separately?
No, sir.
No, sir. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve consent agendas A, B, and C.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Item 6, action items. A, consideration and possible action to appoint John Ginn to fill the vacant position on the town council and administer the oath of office to the newly appointed council member. Madam Clerk?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. The Appointments Subcommittee met on March 19th to review applications for appointment to fill the vacant position on the town council. The subcommittee voted 2-1 to recommend John Ginn to fill the remainder of the term in the vacant position expiring December of 2026. Mr. Ginn has reviewed the legal requirement on open meeting law at least 1 day prior to tonight's meeting and is eligible to have the oath of office administered to him and be seated immediately if voted and passed tonight.
Thank you very much. Item 2 is an update, but I guess the town clerk just said it also. I don't know what I'd update except for the fact that we did hold that vote and recommend that Mr. Ginn be appointed. Item 3, questions, discussion from council. Larry?
I'll wait and reserve it, thank you.
Robert?
Mr. Mayor and council, when the appointments committee did meet, I as being one of the members, we had a different situation then. We had 5 candidates running for mayor or potentially running for the mayor position that hadn't turned in packets yet, but that's what we assumed. And we had 4 people that had turned in applications for the appointment. 2 of those were applicants that also were going to turn in applicant or proposed to turn in applicants for council member, and 2 were just citizens that provided applications. Well, now one of those applicants has been accepted as running. He is going to be on the ballot, barring any complications between now and July 21st. And he also applied for the appointment for the interim term. I would like to have discussion on having continuity of council, that they would make far better decision to have that person appointed versus Mr. Ginn, which is a fine, upstanding citizen. He happens to be my neighbor. Great, he's done great things for Chino Valley, but I just think the other applicant, being that he's going to be on the ballot and applied also for the vacant position, would make more continuity for council going forward.
Questions, discussion, Larry?
I concur with Robert, with Robert. I know Mr. Ginn from serving on the general plan committee, and I know he's very involved in the town. However, I think it would be better off to bring in a new council member and get him at least a foot out the door or into the door and give him a running start versus someone that's coming in without any experience whatsoever. And we give them 6 months of experience and then they're gone. That's all I have on it.
Sherry? No. John?
Mr. Ginn is an upstanding citizen, so this isn't, for me, this isn't about Mr. Ginn because he's a great guy. This is what makes the most sense for the town. And we know that one of the persons that applied for the appointment is going to more than likely be on the council because there's no other people running. It would make more sense, having been one that benefited from the advance. Remember, I was on this council 1.5 years before I got elected. And it takes you about 6-7 months to get your feet wet to know what's going on. So to me, it would make more sense, and it's in the best interest, in the public interest, to have John. I can't say your last name. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say it. Robert's told me 20 times, and I just thought, I'll just say, but it just makes more sense for him to be on it and give him a head start, knowing for the next 4 years he's going to be deliberating up here. So I agree with Robert. I agree with Larry. And I don't know what you said. What did you say?
Didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Maybe she'll agree with us.
Eric?
Well, I think they should all be voted in, but I think we made the decision in the subcommittee, and I think Mr. Ginn is the right choice, and I hope he comes on for 6 months and then decides to come again on board in the next couple of years when we have elections again.
Good points all the way around. I also was chairman of the appointment subcommittee, and I stand with the recommendation that it made. However, if there is an additional motion to be made for someone different, we will certainly entertain that motion.
Can I just clarify one quick thing? Councilmember Switzer, we had 4 applications for council member seat, not mayor. I just want to make that.
I apologize.
No worries.
Council. Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to appoint John Stankiewicz to fill the vacant position on town council, and I don't believe he could be sworn in tonight.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Well,
Aye.
this is roll call vote.
Oh, yeah,
That's
roll
an
call.
action item. It is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Switzer,
Yes.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips,
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Granillo,
No.
Mayor Armstrong.
No.
Motion passes 4-2.
Thank you. At that point, with it passed, you will not administer the oath tonight, as I understand it? That's correct. Oh. Thank you very much. So the recommended action has already been taken with the appointment, with the motion to appoint. So item B, consideration of possible action to approve the purchase and sale agreement and economic development agreement with Chino Valley Rodeo Drive LLC in the amount of $786,500. Meg?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are here tonight to seek your consideration and possible action to approve the purchase and sale agreement and economic development agreement between the town and Chino Valley Rodeo LLC in the amount of $786,500. I kept the slide short. We have met several times, and this has been going on for many years now, which is proof in the pudding that economic development is a long game, and it takes a long time to get projects across the board. So we're excited to be here tonight and present a few slides, and after I'm done doing that, I'm going to invite the developers who are here, Pat and the broker, Chris, to come up and say a few words and take any questions you might have. So this is just a 30,000 square foot level of the purchase agreement and the development agreement. So it's about 26 acres, and the purchase price of $786,500 or $30,250 an acre. The parcel number is 30602-001X for 184 RV spaces with many amenities. The development of the RV park in Chino Valley will deliver measurable benefits to our local and regional economy, both during construction and throughout ongoing operations. And this will be a luxury RV park, and to be considered that, you actually have to have a pool. So there'll be a pool and pickleball courts and a little sea stop and community center and many amenities, but I'll let Pat speak to that more. As you guys know, with the change in laws, municipalities are not allowed to add do incentives anymore, like what your traditional incentives might be. And so you have to have a development agreement. And so with that, we had to get a third party to come in and do a economic impact study to say what the positive benefits to the town would be so that we would know that we'd be getting paid back. So during the construction phase, I'm not going to read all these to you because you've seen it before, but you can see tons of economic impact and positive dollars flowing into the town. And to collect during the construction phase for the town, about $127,000 in tax revenue and 65 jobs. And then continuing on, the operational impacts. And again, I'm not going to read this all to you because you've seen this before, but once it is operational, that's 20 jobs. Economic output is expected to be about $2.3 million a year, with a total of $945,000 in total tax revenue. Keep in mind, not everything is a tangible tax revenue base, because when you have visitors come in, they spend money into your economy. So there's 3 different levels. It's what they spend when they come in, whose pockets that goes into, and then they respend that into your economy. So at the end of the day, the independent analysis by Rounds Consulting verified new tax revenues generated by the RV park are expected to offset the incentive within a 10-year period following the opening of the park. And with that,
I'll just speak to that for just a second. We just wanted to make sure, I know it was in your packet, but these are just the details of the offset, what we're giving them and what we're giving them in return, and that the round study has said that we will, more than 10, probably much sooner than 10 years, get that payback, but if not, the town is still protected and would potentially get a payback from the developer if they didn't make those incentive marks through the TPT. So it's just to let us know that this is a great deal. Their attorney has done their due diligence to make sure that we're meeting all gift clause requirements, and that the town will be made whole or more if this development were to come into town.
yes, hence the multiple safeguards, the last bullet point. Yes. I'm not recognizing this slide, I apologize. Yes. So with that, staff recommends to approve the purchase and sale agreement and the economic development agreement with Chino Valley Rodeo LLC in the amount of $786,500. And at this time, I would like to invite Pat up to say a few words and to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, are there any questions for staff before?
Or are there any questions for me?
No, sir.
Robert?
No.
Sure, sir. No.
No.
That's true.
Okay, thank you very much, Megan.
Good.
Thank you.
Mayor Armstrong, members of the council, town manager, my name is Pat Cantelme Sr. My address is 741 West El Camino Drive in Phoenix, Arizona. I appreciate the opportunity to be before you tonight. We've worked on this for a long time, over 5 years now. And so I'm available to answer any questions you have. It's been a wonderful opportunity working with your staff. They've been very pleasant and very professional to work with. We think it's a good opportunity for us, and we hope it's a good opportunity for the town. So I'm available to answer any questions you want.
Questions, Larry?
How soon are you going to turn a shovel?
Well, to be honest with you, because we've been going at this over and over again, our first thing is to come to this agreement and then start on the engineering. And so once all that's done, I mean, we have 15 months to turn a shovel. Hopefully it's going to be before that. But we've got to reroute the wash. We've got to get the engineering done. We've got to extend the road, water, and sewer. There's a lot done before we actually start the development of the park. But we're ready to get moving as quickly as we can.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. Robert?
I just want to say I think it's a great opportunity for you, great opportunity for Chino Valley. I think it's going to be a fantastic park, and I can't wait for it to be done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I would say, we've been at this before we knew anything about the golf course. I think that's a plus for everybody. So,
Sure.
and it's a great site. It really is. So,
John?
Yeah, just one. If this all goes through, would you fund a tattoo for Maggie that said she did it?
absolutely. That's the least we can do.
Eric?
Nothing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
I did have one speaker request to come up and speak on this item.
Yes, Regina Pecoraro.
It's easy for you to say.
I was going to say, somebody got her name right.
Those two, I tell you.
I know. Mayor, town council members, thank you for letting me speak with you tonight. As you know, I'm the chief operating officer over at Compass Training Center, and we opened our gates on August 1st of 2019. And in January of 2020, we had we hosted 300 to 500 people over 5 days here in Chino Valley. At our range for a shooting competition. It was called Desert Brutality. It was wonderful. The Those numbers did not include their families or the vendors that actually stayed here as well. But they didn't stay here in Chino. They spent all their money very close by in another town, Prescott. So how does this town actually obtain any infrastructure money? Anything that comes back into our town? It's by having jobs for people to spend money. We need jobs, we need infrastructure, and we get that by our taxes. We don't pay property taxes to the town of Chino Valley. We pay them to Yavapai County, and then it all trickles back down into us in small little bits. We do now have Granite Mountain Outlaws. They are a single action shooter organization. We have the opportunity to bring their national shooting competition up here that happens over 3 days. You're still looking about 300 to 500 people. These people are coming from across the United States. They don't fly with these high-end fancy firearms. They drive RVs because they can stow them easier than going through TSA. If anybody's had that. We've got the equine facility out there. There's an ability for them to start doing a lot more shows and competitions, doing a lot more things out there. Hey, maybe we can have some golf tournaments or something out there. But we're also very situated, our location is a great place between Grand Canyon and Prescott. We have nice weather. I don't know if anybody's actually looked at our website, but a couple years ago, Maggie got together with a video media organization, and literally it says that we are an outdoor recreational area. People could come here and go outdoor, taking their quads out to Jerome. They could do all kinds of stuff outdoors, but they have no place of bringing or leaving their stuff. Last thing, the only thing I have to say is please give consideration and a yes vote for the RV park, and let's continue to build our community together and to become a top-tier outdoor recreational destination.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I have no other speakers. I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion, we approve action item 6B for the purchase sale agreement and the economic development agreement with Chino Valley Rodeo Drive LLC in the amount of $786,500.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Roll call
Roll
action.
call.
That's a roll call.
I'll get used to that one of these days. Again, it's a roll call vote because it's an action item and somebody requested it and we're going. Okay.
Councilmember Switzer.
Yes, and thank you.
Councilmember Holt.
Absolutely, yes.
Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gurneal.
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong.
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
So now you gotta fund the tattoo.
I like that.
Okay, item C, consideration and possible action to award a cooperative purchasing agreement to Cactus Asphalt for the fiscal year 26 street improvements project.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Steve Sullivan, Town Engineer. The proposed project will pulverize and chip seal various town streets, approximately 13 miles. Procurement utilizes one GPA National Purchasing Cooperative Procurement Contract 2215P01 with Cactus Asphalt. The proposals in the amount of $2,878,933, allowing a contingency of $71,000. $71,066 for proposed award of $2.95 million. Thus far, we have done geotechnical testing and some ditch rehab, approximately $50,000. So that utilizes the entire fiscal year budget of $3 million. And we have a tentative start date of mid-May 2026. We actually talked to the contractor yesterday, and potentially they could start May 4th. Work to date, so we've done some geotechnical investigation, and our streets division has been diligently digging out ditches, and that picture in the middle are the spoils. When I took that picture, there was about 40 loads. So staff recommendation, award a cooperative purchasing agreement to Cactus Asphalt for the FY26 street improvements projects for an amount not to exceed $2,950,000.
Questions, Larry?
Just one, Steve. Along with digging out the ditches, are we also going to figure some way to get the culverts cleaned?
That starts next week.
Thank you.
Robert?
I just wanted the public to be aware, so this is 13 miles of chip sealed roads.
Correct.
So prior to this, what we were doing is total rehab. That would have got us about 3 miles of roads. So this may not be a total rehab, which may not last as long, but I think it's going to last a long time, and we're getting way more for our dollar, way more roads improved. So I hope the town appreciates that.
Sherry? Nope. John?
Just one for the town manager. When we were doing this went through the capital improvement committee first, right?
Yes, it went through the SIP cap committee, and then we came to you and had a couple rounds of moving things around. We talked about Perkinsville and holding that off, and all of that went into this final plan.
Okay, thank you.
And if I might, another thing I just want to add with what Councilmember Switzer said is I want to commend Steve and his team. They did some preliminary, they did some boring and other kinds of things we've never done before to make sure that the roads could handle long-term this improvement rather than putting something down that was going to deteriorate. So I just really want to thank Steve and his team for taking those extra steps to make sure this is a good long-term investment.
Eric?
None. Thanks, Steve.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve action item 6C, award a cooperative purchase agreement to Cactus Asphalt for the fiscal year 26 street improvements projects for an amount not to exceed $2,950,000.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Roll call.
Oh, good for you, you got on it. Oh.
Councilmember Switzer?
Yes.
I don't like this.
Councilmember Holt?
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Granillo?
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong?
Yes,
Passes 6-0.
thank you very much. Item D, consideration and possible action to approve a budget capacity transfer in the amount of $302,591 and approve the purchase of a 2024 VACCON truck for $392,975. Steve, you're on again.
The Public Works Department is requesting authorization to purchase a 2024 VACCON 3-yard non-CDL truck. Proposed procurement utilizes Sourcewell Cooperative Contract RFP 101221. That's a picture of the actual unit. This is a picture of our existing unit. This is a replacement of the current 1997 vacuum truck originally purchased used, which has proven to be unreliable and hazardous, even experiencing multiple fires. This new vacuum truck would meet the operational needs of Public Works while reducing our current dependency on rental and third-party services. The new truck would also aid streets and parks maintenance in clearing culverts, potholing, and enhancing our service efficiency across the board. This new truck is projected to last 10 to 15 years. Staff researched a variety of options, including rental, buying another used unit at auction, and purchasing a new unit, which was originally expected to cost between $700,000 and $800,000. After analyzing what was needed for the functionality of this machine, it was determined that the best long-term and fiscally viable solution would be to purchase a new unit that is slightly smaller with simplified technologies, but still able to meet our operational needs. This particular unit is a demo with limited usage, thereby providing additional cost savings for the town. The unit was tested and approved in the field by town staff. Additionally, since this will be utilized by multiple departments, not just wastewater, the cost can be allocated across multiple funds as follows. Capital Asset Replacement Fund, 31% for $121,823. Highway User Revenue Fund, 23%, $90,384. Water Fund, 23%, $90,384, and the wastewater fund at 23%, $90,384. In the FY 25-26 budget, $600,000 was budgeted for this purchase if funding was obtained. Instead of financing this purchase and paying additional interest, it is recommended of staff that each of the aforementioned funds participate in the purchase. So there are two parts to this item. The first part authorizes the budget capacity transfer from wastewater to the other three funds that will assist in providing the actual funding for this purchase. The second part authorizes the purchase of the truck from EnviroClean. So, the long recommendation. After the budget capacity transfer, approve the budget capacity transfer in the amount of $302,591 from wastewater fund to the following funds. $121,823 to the capital asset replacement fund, $90,384 to the highway user revenue fund, $90,384 to the water revenue fund, and approve the purchase of a 2024 VACCon truck in the amount of $392,974.70 from EnviroClean for the use by wastewater, water, streets, and parks.
Questions? Larry?
Absolutely none.
Robert?
Just one. Since this is a demo unit, does it come with full warranty that a new truck would?
That is a good question. I do not know that.
Sherry?
No.
John?
Just one, it might be more of a question for the town manager. By funding from the water, sewer, this isn't going to impact the rates, will it?
No.
Okay.
This will not impact the rates at this time. We were running a new rate model and coming and talking about future rates. But this, and Katie, if there's anything more you want to say about that, but we're pulling this from fund balance in those funds.
So with any machinery and equipment that's on the wastewater side, any additional purchases could impact rates in the long term as far as repairing those machinery and equipment and things like that, because it's all taken into account. However, because we've split the allocation of funding out for this, instead of impacting it by $600,000 for the wastewater fund, it's only the $90,000, which is a much smaller piece. We do not expect rates to go up right now because of this. And the other piece of that is there is no cash balance, as you all know, in the wastewater fund. So essentially, if the fund doesn't perform well enough to cover that by the end of the year, that's what we had talked about yesterday as far as if the wastewater fund has a deficit balance, then the general fund has to cover that until it can pay it back. So it could be a loan essentially from the general fund, just depending on how the fund performs for the rest of the year.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for the answer.
Questions, Eric?
No.
I have no questions. This is
Mr.
an
Mayor?
action item requires
Mr. Mayor, just one more. Yeah.
Clarification for you, sir. Yes, factory standard warranty, chassis runs out 5 years, pump and other components range between 1 and 5 years.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And then just the other thing I want to say, I wanted to kudos to Public Works for thinking outside the box, and this saved us $100,000+
Absolutely.
for a unit that's going to do the same job as the more expensive one we do. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Good job.
Thank you.
Great. Roll call vote.
Let me make a motion.
It ain't getting away from me. I ain't waiting for his motion.
I'm going to make a motion and then like to make a motion to approve action item 6D, approve the budget capacity transfer in the amount of $302,591 as presented by staff, and approve the purchase of a 2024 VACCon truck in the amount of $392,974.70 from EnviroClean for use by wastewater, water, streets, and parks.
It's an action item requires a roll call.
Oh, second.
Second, please.
We have a motion and a second. It was coming. I already heard it.
And then a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember
Already asked for
Switzer?
that.
Yes.
Councilmember Holt?
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Granillo?
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong?
Yes.
I'm happy to announce it passes 6-0.
Last time we hear about this for a while.
Item, where am I? F?
E.
E. Consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2026-1305. Council, who's presenting?
I have a presentation. Oh, that has the resolution. Can I pull it up?
Oh, you want the resolution?
Correct. So we have a few things tonight. We're talking about Community Development Block Grant. And so this process is very formalized. It's a federal program. And so one of the pieces of this application is passing a resolution that acknowledges our application to apply for these funds. Would you like me to read it to you, Mayor?
I think everybody's had a chance to read it through the packet, have we not?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So, do we have to pass it or anything? They read it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be read.
Okay.
So you can continue with your.
All right, my presentation. All right, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. Jesse Soderberg, Executive Analyst, and I'm excited to talk to you about this program today. You may be familiar with the CDBG program. That's the Community Development Block Grant. Historically, this has been on a 4-year cycle. However, they are moving to a 3-year cycle for Yavapai County. So if you're not familiar with it yet, you're going to be, and we'll be up for funding again in another 3 years. So I'm going to talk through the program in general, and then I'm going to talk through the timeline and the recommended project for funding. And once we've gone through these items, Mayor, I ask that you open the floor to public comment for the nominated project. So the CDBG program provides federal funding to communities to support projects that benefit low and moderate income residents. Another priority of this project is to eliminate slums or blight. And the overall idea is to address community infrastructure and housing needs for those who need it the most. The funding is provided through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. It's administered to the state of Arizona through the Arizona Department of Housing. The funds then trickle down to NACOG, so that's the Northern Arizona Council of Governments. They help administer the project to us, and like I mentioned, we're on a cycle with other communities in other counties. So you might be asking yourself, what qualifies as low to moderate income in Yavapai County? For CDBG funding, low to moderate income generally means households earning less than 80% of the area's median income. So in Yavapai County, a household income for one person earning less than $50,750, that household would qualify as low to moderate income. A 4-person household earning $72,500 or less would also qualify. So it does depend on how many people are in the household, and I'm happy to share a spreadsheet with those amounts for you. So this year, the funding, because the timeline is stretched with NACOG administering this grant with us, we have an idea of what the funding could be. There is a chance that we could receive more funding depending on what other communities are actively doing with their applications. So for example, if another community decides to not move forward with this application, more funds could be available to the town of Chino Valley. As of right now, $312,472 is our estimate for what the town of Chino Valley will receive. So like I mentioned, this funding can support small to medium-sized community improvements. In the past, we've seen these funds go towards major projects like paving. They can even go towards sewer upgrades, but it's important to keep in mind that although we are very grateful with the $312,000, it's not quite enough to do a complete project without town buy-in, unless we find a project that we can scale to that amount. So there's 4 different categories of CDBG qualifying projects. So the first is the area benefit. So this is targeting low to moderate income households in a geographic area. So you have to prove that greater than 51% of that area are low to moderate income residents. We do this through census tracts, or you go out and you do an income survey for that area. There's the limited clientele. So these are target groups that the projects serve. So we're looking at abused children, elderly persons, homeless persons, adults with severe disabilities, illiterate persons, anyone that falls within those definitions. As long as you can prove that 51% are LMI, then that project would qualify. Housing projects that improve or expand housing opportunities for low and moderate income residents qualify, as well as jobs and economic benefits. So any projects that support job creation and job retention. Previously funded CDBG projects, you can see them listed here. The one that I want to point out, obviously the senior center kitchen remodel was the most recent project. So through CDBG funding, we were allocated $406,016. The total cost of that project was $645,000, give or take some change. And so the town paid in to complete that project. Before that, you can see that there were 2 paving projects. And I point this out because you're only allowed to fund a senior center project once or twice every 7 years. Senior center projects automatically qualify because of the community that they serve. It's inclusive, it targets populations that are in general low to moderate income. We're talking about elderly citizens. And I point this out because if we choose to fund a senior center project this year, we will not be able to fund a senior center project at the next funding cycle. That doesn't mean that we won't qualify for funding, we will, but there will be other steps like the income survey that I mentioned to try to capture individuals living that are LMI, low to moderate income. So where are we in the process? So this all started in January of this year. We hosted our first initial public hearing on March 9th. So it was posted in the paper. It was posted in various locations around town to please come to this meeting. We're going to talk about CDBG, and I want to hear about all of the projects that you might be considering. Unfortunately, we didn't have a large turnout from the community, but we did have a really great turnout from staff. And so I'm really grateful for all of the department heads that showed up and brought forth their projects. Today, we are doing our second public hearing, so I will recommend a project that we've already vetted through whether or not it's qualifying. And then we will issue our letter of intent to apply next week at the end of the month. The application is due to NACOG in June, and then August is when it actually gets submitted through the ADOH. So by January of next year, we should have contract documents sent to our communities letting us know how much funding we've been awarded and whether or not our project has been selected. So of the projects that were nominated by staff, we brought up the senior center parking lot. Obviously, there's some improvements that need to be done in the parking lot. Also, the conference room that's in the back of the building, it's pretty warm in there. We just learned that there may be termites in that room. And Cindy Thomas, she's been occupying that room as the senior center floor was being fixed, and there's definitely some room for improvement there. We also have the senior center capacity expansion project. So the senior center is extremely popular. We see an opportunity where we can expand the space and invite more people to participate in the programming that goes on there. Then the Senior Center Comprehensive Improvement Project, this would include the parking and drainage improvements as well as the Senior Center expansion. There were some ideas about how the entry could be corrected, maybe become more ADA accessible. And although that's a great idea, it's going to cost a lot of money. So obviously we had our budget meeting yesterday. We're all very aware of budget constraints, and we believe that the Senior Center Capacity Expansion Project can be fully executed within budget of what we are being given by the ADOH.
So just to give you an idea of how important the Senior Center is, this is a picture from Thanksgiving of 2025. So each year, the Senior Center serves approximately 42,000 meals. And so that breaks down to 80 home-delivered meals and 80 in-house meals per day. The Senior Center offers meals at only $5 a meal for people under 60 and $4 a meal suggested donation for individuals who are over 60. The Senior Center hosts a variety of activities, special functions, painting classes, bridge, grief counseling, referrals and line dancing, veterans breakfasts, and it does all of this with Cindy Thomas, who is just amazing at making sure that the community knows that there's a place for them to come. The Senior Center has a 155-person seating capacity, which during the holidays has encouraged the town to open 2 individual seating times for holiday meals. Chino Valley residents spend time in the gift shop. They eat meals here, in the new CDBG-funded kitchen even, and they play pool in the space. It's a cornerstone to our community, and we would be happy to really make it an accommodating place for all. So I want to pause here on this picture and just highlight the slider and the windows. And so we see an opportunity to expand the space. So the project scope, this is a rough picture, but there's a pergola space here. We believe that that space can fairly easily be converted to useful space. So that would add, it's a 14 by 23 foot space. And then there's also an interior closet that could be repurposed into functional space. So that's a 422 square foot addition. We have already talked with a contractor to get a general idea of what this could cost, and he estimated about $450. That estimate may seem high to you. That is because this is a federal program. Federal programs come with red tape. Davis-Bacon, there's other standards that you have to adhere to, so it's best practice to have a healthy buffer. You'll also notice that I included a 15% contingency. That's the what if money. So other things, the design we're estimating to cost about $75,000, and then to improve the outer space that we would essentially be walling up with the pergola space. The total project we think will cost around $312,685. Another item that I think is important to bring up, when we were having this discussion about expanding the usable space, items like furniture and equipment, potentially adding a mini split to the conference room was discussed. We can apply for CDBG funding for furniture, but anything that's not affixed requires a separate application to the program. That separate application does pull from the total amount that we have been allocated. And so it's just something to be aware of. If it's the desire of the council, then yes, we have about $5,000 of furniture that we believe we could purchase. That can be something that we address later down the road if the structural improvement is really the priority here. So you can just see the senior center space. So obviously they got a whole new kitchen. The addition would be out this way where the pergola currently is. And if you're not familiar, I strongly encourage that you go check it out. There it is. And the outside view, it's a little difficult to see here, but we would be walling up the space. One thing to consider, and we've already talked with development services, is that 10-foot setback, which is currently where the pergola is, so we would have to adhere to that. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Larry?
No, thank you.
Robert?
So if you end up the contingency money, if you didn't spend it all, that just goes back to them, or then could you apply for the furniture or the mini split, or if you had funds left over?
It's my understanding that you have to apply for, both applications would be cast at the same time. Anything that does not get spent under this program would technically go back to them. Another thing to consider as well is, like I mentioned earlier, if one of the other communities doesn't pursue this process, we could be awarded more funding. We're not talking $100,000, we're talking less than that, but it is something to consider.
But maybe it would be prudent to apply for something extra since there is kind of hopefully a fairly large buffer zone in there.
Potentially, yes.
Sherry? No. John?
Just one. So if we pursue this, we can't do this for another 7 years.
If we...
We couldn't apply NACOG money to the senior center for 7 years.
Correct, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Eric?
No.
So is ADOH the final approval on this?
Well, it's, no. So the federal level, so the, HUD, they are the final approval on this.
Okay, but it goes, a recommendation through NACOG?
Yes, well, we submit our application to NACOG, and then NACOG pushes our application up. It's not typical, this arrangement, but that is how it's done.
But a favorable recommendation from NACOG might help us out?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, I happen to sit on the NACOG board.
Okay.
Not required on the agenda, but staff has asked to open a public hearing. Is there anyone that'd like to speak on this matter?
No.
Seeing none, I will close the public hearing.
Friendly reminder that we need action on the resolution first.
And I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve action item 6E, resolution 2026-1305, authorizing submission of an application for fiscal year 26 state CDBG funds, certifying that a said application meets the community's previously identified housing and community development needs and the requirements of the state CDBG program, and authorizing all action necessary to implement and complete the activities outlined in said application.
So the resolution also requires a roll call vote.
Yes, it does.
Please do
Second,
so.
please. I need a
Need
second.
a second. Second?
Councilmember Switzer,
Yes.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips,
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Granillo,
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong,
Yes,
passes 6-0.
thank you very much. Item F, public hearing, consideration and possible action to accept funds from the Arizona Department of Housing for the town of Chino Valley's 3-year rotation CDBG and authorizing the mayor to sign said application upon completion by NACOG and town staff. We held the public hearing. Are there any questions for staff on this?
No, sir.
No.
Robert?
No, sir.
Sherry?
No.
John? Eric?
No.
Okay. We did the public hearing, that's fine. I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve action item 6F, approve the senior center capacity expansion project as a town selected project for 2026 CDBG funding.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. This will also be a roll call vote.
Councilmember Switzer,
Yes.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips,
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Granillo,
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong,
Yes,
passes 6-0.
thank you very much. Item 7, Sherry.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.